Hey everyone, welcome back to Sports Tea. I hope you all had a really great day. I'm excited about tonight because we are going to discuss Adam Silver claiming that he's working on the quote unquote 3 point problem. And then we're going to discuss Paul George and his most recent comments about being bored. Okay. But before we get into all of it, I want to shout out our amazing members of Sports Tea. Uh, Give me one moment. How's everybody doing tonight? Really excited to be here. Can you guys hear me okay? Just want to make sure you guys can hear me. All righty, wonderful. I'm so glad we're in action. Okay. And so just to quickly shout out our members of the channel, I want to thank you all for being here. But we have Manny Coffee, brand new member, joined today. It's not that serious. Ill Will 42, Brand 117, Queen of Beats, William Wright, Meg XD, V Dub, Silvio Manuel, Prodigal, Tom Smithers, Zeno Omega, Kurt Nishimura, Raymond Chambers, Eden Jr., Danny Season, Debo4735, Jason Williams, Sports Facts, Jamie Costello, Coach MA, Lester's Banana, Wise Guy 23, Leon Jones, Brown B, Lewis Matthews, Charles Hookah, Lisa Taylor, Brenda, Reginald McLendon, Panama 135, Saeed Gore, Spurs Ann, Ron C23, Blanco Smoke, T-Bert the Twin, Relax and Focus, WWKM, Big Al Master Chief, Jeffrey Guyett, and Christopher Baldwin. Thank you all for being members. You continue to help to grow this channel and help for it to expand. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart. It means a lot to me. Let's see who's in the chat tonight. So who's in the room with us? We have Nufo. Ain't no party like a sports tea party. That's what I'm talking about. Salute to you. And let's see. Who else do we have here? Let's see. We've got JSRL Padre. Yes, like and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe if you can. How you doing, James Maxwell? Salute to you, Nick T. Nick T, I don't want to talk about the Lakers right now. I'm going to talk about them in the morning. They beat the Miami Heat. Congratulations to the Lakers for winning a goddamn game. Okay, what have they lost the last 3, 4 games in a row? So, not impressive that they beat the Miami Heat tonight, especially given the fact that Jimmy Butler wasn't playing, their star player. Hello. Uh, JW, salute to you. Marvin Segovia, big set trip. So happy that you finally caught a live. Very happy to have you here. Gemini Stacks Cooking, heard you. Michael, thank you so much. Beast from Hell. Sheesh. Very, very funny name. Jamal Johnson, Wheezy One, salute to you. Melike Lewis, sorry if I'm butchering your name. If you want to, feel free to throw in the chat like the correct pronunciation. I want to make sure that I say it right. TMD, I barely watched some of the fourth of the T-Wolves Warriors and none of the Lakers. Yawn. I feel you. Dylan Dunham, salute to you. All right, guys. I see you in here, Tom Smithers. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. That means so much to me. You guys, honestly, I'm so happy to be here tonight. I have a really good show tonight planned. I know that, look, I know the Lakers were playing that game. I mean, who was so excited about that game? It wasn't exciting. Uh, there were other NBA games on tonight that were much better, and I'll discuss them tomorrow. But I do, I want to jump right into this Adam Silver topic because, Adam Silver, he was on The Herd today with Colin Cowherd, and he was on earlier today. And Colin, I felt like he set up, the question about three-pointers very nicely for Adam Silver. But of course, Adam Conehead Silver deflected and tried to build equity for his lies. But I will let you guys hear it and then we'll react. And feel free to throw a one in the chat if you can hear this soundbite. Okay.
Don't mind three-pointers, but if the NFL was just, you could run the ball and throw bombs. No layering, no drag routes, no tight end screen. It was just run it or bombs. Optically, it's not as fascinating. And I love the three-pointer. But like, and you know this, you're a pretty progressive thinker, I think. Athletes are better. Wemby can pull up and cross you over on a dribble and shoot. They couldn't do that 10 years ago. And the truth is, because your players are so gifted and it's such a global pool, the three-pointer is too easy. And I have simply said, I would put the three-pointer, I would have it go into the bench about 6 feet up, eliminate the corner. I'd bring back the hand check. I do like physicality. Your athletes are so great, it's become too easy to hit it. And the optics on it are repetitive. I think there's numbers, ratings that prove people are, they like layers and power forwards and physicality and not just dunks and threes. What do you do to solve that? Because I think you've engaged with people and acknowledged it can be a bit repetitive. It is a bit of an issue. What do we do to change it?
The hardest question is the last one you asked. What do we do to change it? I agree to the extent that you start to see very similar offenses around the league. Teams have brands, teams have identity. Joe Dumars is a colleague now at the league office, the Bad Boys, et cetera. I think, the Showtime Lakers. So I recognize that to the extent that offenses start to look very similar, we lose that. At the same time, the league is going through a transformation. Just as you said, players like Victor Wembanyama, players like, Jokic are doing things big men never did historically. I mean, It wasn't that long ago, Colin. You'll remember that conversations you had with David Stern, we would bemoan the lack of skill among some players, that there was a sense there was too much physicality around the game.
Yes.
That the play under the basket, that you would have, the Hack-a-Shack era. There were big men that just couldn't shoot free throws. There are no big men anymore who can't shoot. Free throws, just as one comparable from generation to generation, have never been higher. So I think we just got to be careful. Like, the one thing I want to do is, I don't want to sort of knee-jerk move the three-point line. We're sort of going through a process now, seeing how these players are adapting to the new rules and figuring out if whatever changes we should make. I mean, to be honest, I wish it were as simple as just moving the three-point line back, because then we would just do it. I mean, part of the concern from the basketball folks is that if you move the three-point line back, you'll end up sort of just clogging up, the sort of the area under the basket. And that's not such attractive basketball either. I think this is doable. I think by examining the game and sort of seeing where it's going, I mean, it frustrates me a little as well, because it's obviously you're representative of what a fair number of people are saying about the game. And I watch it night in, night out. And we're seeing some of the most incredible athleticism and skill in the history of this league. Again, Victor Wembanyama. But I think you're also saying, too, that if we move the three-point line back and what we ended up with was Victor Wembanyama standing under the basket the whole time and just waiting to dunk, that wouldn't be interesting either.
Right.
So one, I assure you, we are on it. I think it's a very fixable issue. I mean, we've gone from, I always tell the story, like Bob Cousy, who, I don't know, he's around 95 years old, still stays in touch with me. And he'll call me after watching a game and say, I'm so frustrated because the commentators think that what these players are doing, let's say from 28 feet or 30 feet, and seemingly just flicking the ball up with their wrists and swishing these 3-pointers, that somehow that's easy. He said the skill level is incredible. But he'll also say, I think we all want to see diversity in the offenses. But by the way, one other thing I'll just throw in, I don't think the players are getting enough credit for playing the style of defense they're playing now as well. So it's an incredible game. I know you love the game. It's, the number one participation sport in the United States. You mentioned Caitlin Clark. It's incredible to see what the women are now doing on the floor and the amount of young girls who are playing this game. So as stewards of the game, Joe Dumars leads our competition committee here. We will tweak it. We will correct those issues.
My gosh. Yikes. So if we move the 3-point line back, then all players on the court are under the basket. I don't see how Adam Silver came to that conclusion, but we'll let him tell it, right? The first lie I heard was that people complained about the physicality in the sport. That hasn't truly happened since the 80s when the NBA was literally the goon league. That was practically 40 years ago. No one complained when Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant played. But all of a sudden, when LeBron truly took over the league, there's all these complaints. After Kobe left, it's a 3-point contest and a layup line. I find that to be interesting. I really do. And if the NBA is on it, like they say they are, and they truly plan to correct these issues, as Adam Silver claims he's going to, then they'll have to discount, I don't know, the past 10 to 15 years of the sport. How can the titles be valid? How can we say any title run was legit? I need answers. They need to correct these issues now that LeBron, Steph, and KD are all practically on their way out. Isn't that interesting to you guys? The second lie that I heard was actually Colin Cowherd. He says that Victor Wembanyama does crossover dribbles and pulls up and shoots it. And we never saw that 10 years ago. Really? Wow. So now Wemby invented the crossover, pull up and shoot. He invented that. Wow. Last time I checked, Oscar Robertson created the crossover dribble. Tim Hardaway revolutionized it, and Iverson made it sexy. And again, these players played almost 30 years ago. I guess we never saw these things before. Adam Silver tries to deflect to Bob Cousy and say that he calls him up. Mind you, at 95 years old, he's picking up the phone to call Adam Silver. He calls him up to compliment the skill of the 3-point shooting. No one ever said it doesn't require skill to shoot the ball. I think it requires more skill to get to the rim without running over defenders and bum rushing the lane. I think it requires more skill to develop an inside and outside game that consists of perimeter shooting, mid-range shots, as well as high and low post moves. I don't even believe that Bob Cousy calls Mr. Conehead at 95 years old. I think Bob Cousy views Adam Silver as a disgrace. Why would he pick up the phone to dial his number? Maybe he does. The best is that Adam Silver bringing up the women's sport and name dropping Caitlin Clark. The rise of women's basketball is completely irrelevant to how Adam Silver plans to fix the NBA. He's basically, in my opinion, setting the stage to say, hey, the men are playing just like these women that you're loving to watch right now. That's basically what to me, that's what I'm hearing. But yes, name dropping Caitlin Clark, it's just completely irrelevant to how Adam Silver is to his plan, right? He was asked the great question, and I mean, there's just clearly no plan. He said everything but what he would actually do to correct these issues. Kind of like a politician, I guess. Kind of like the presidential elections that we watch every 4 years. A little bonus here is that he also mentioned that it's Joe Dumar's problem to fix. Hmm. Maybe he says that so that maybe the public can stop blaming him. We all know that Joe Dumars isn't behind removing the physicality from the league. Adam Silver did that. Why does Dumars have to clean up your mess, Adam Silver? Why? We all know that Adam Silver and Clutch Sports pull the strings like puppet masters. I don't think the 3-point issue will be fixed before LeBron retires. I don't. He spoke like it was a matter of urgency, like they were working on this right now. He even tried to compliment the defense that they were playing this season. I mean, look, some teams defend, some don't. I'm not going to celebrate that. Adam Silver's sitting up there celebrating that players get out on the floor and they play defense. They're doing their job, their style of defense. It's a 3-point contest and a layup line. Stop it. That's not a style. That's not an offense. That's not an offensive there's no offensive scheme to that. I think, well, I don't think the 3-point issue will be fixed at all. Okay? It definitely won't be fixed before LeBron retires. I think the 3-point shooting will continue to be at a high volume throughout the regular season because it allows for players to rest on offense and defense. It creates less physicality automatically. And players are using it as a tactic to avoid injury. Look at Anthony Edwards jacking up all those threes. He's not just doing it for stats, he's doing it to preserve his body. John Morant talked about not dunking as much as well. It's a toll on your body. You're getting beat up heading into the paint. But that's why you train. That's why you work really hard on your game. And that's why, when you're an NBA player, basketball should be life. But yes, players, they are using, to me, the 3-point shot and the volume of threes as a tactic to avoid injury and to play as many games as possible to be eligible for the awards. NBA players, coaches, agents, owners, it's almost as if they sit around wondering, how do we make sure that these players do as little as possible on the court and still earn the most amount of money? The NBA is literally the definition of working the system. NBA players pay people to find the loophole so that they don't have to work. And fans continue to be cheated on a nightly basis, season over season. I know you guys heard Adam Silver throw it in there that he watches the games nightly. Yeah, right. Adam Conehead Silver is being charged with making the NBA great again. Will he do it? I'm curious to hear what you guys think. I'll read some of the comments before I move on to the next topic. Sheesh. Joellen Biatch is the face of the cupcake era. I don't know if he's the face of it, but he's a part of it. Adam does need to go. He is horrible. Absolutely. I wish he would fire himself. Just step down because you've made a mockery of the NBA and the legacy of David Stern. Rec league and park games are more fun to watch. I couldn't agree more. We'll see some more competitive spirit in those games for sure. In short, we like seeing strategies play out. Hello. Adam Silver ain't engaged and acknowledged nothing and nobody till now. Meanwhile, 34% of the league wide 3-point shoot app. Oh, wow. Wow. 34% league wide. It's interesting. So they're jacking up all these threes. They're shooting volume, but they're not making them. And I mean, look, I talked about the Lakers game this morning, and I think they took almost 53-point shots and then they made like 13. Absolutely disgusting. General Williams replaced Silver with MJ commission. I don't know that Michael Jordan would be better as a commissioner. I really don't. I'm not sure. But we definitely need a better commissioner. Just bring back defense. It's an easy fix. Absolutely, but it's an easy fix, but I don't know that it's Adam Silver that is unwilling to bring back defense, or if it's the players and just the league in general, because they're able to extend their careers. If you don't play defense and you're able to go for another 5 to 10 more years, easy. The shelf life of an NBA star back in the day used to be 10 to 15 years of prime play, somewhere around 10 to 12 years. Now they're faking it till they make it. They're not defending. They're literally playing half of a game in order to extend their careers and make max dollars. They're making more money than ever before. Yeah, players these days are better. That narrative is just such nonsense. I find it to be absolutely ridiculous. I feel like the NBA players in the league has devolved. I don't think that the talent is as great as it was in the 90s or early 2000s. I just don't. You see guys that don't even look like a guy, like you see guys that don't even look like a full-blown adult in the NBA that have like no muscle. How is that even possible? The NBA, and I'll take it a step further. They've not just taken defense out of the league. They've taken athleticism out of the league. We don't have the total package NBA player. We don't have an inside out game. We don't have guys who are jumping through the air on a consistent basis. LeBron James is not going to be playing anymore. He caught an incredible alley-oop dunk earlier tonight, and the crowd, they were electrified, right? John Morant is still dunking the ball, even though he's saying he's going to do that a lot less. He posterized Wemby. It's a great dunk. It didn't count, but that's going to be on a poster. Teams don't have identity anymore. Players are switching teams every year. Players have identities and brands. That's why. I, you know, I just wish that players took a step back and said, what's good for the core? What's good for the team? It's not all about me, me, me. So, yeah, it's very unfortunate what's happening right now in the NBA, and there's so many different problems at so many different angles. So, I do want to answer a question unrelated to the topic. What I think about Anthony Edwards and if he's that guy. Thank you so much, Jamil Johnson, for posing this question. I think it's a fair question. It's a good question. I think Anthony Edwards was going to be that guy. And I think that he still can be, but he's not currently. I don't think there is a guy. I don't think there's any guy in the league right now. There's no one person. I think what I'm seeing this season, and I actually really enjoy it, is I'm seeing better team basketball from the best teams in the league. right now the Celtics aren't playing a great brand of basketball, and I suspect that they're load managing on the court by taking a million three-point shots. I think that that's how they're trying to preserve Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, all these guys so that they can, make it through the season. I think they want to make sure that they're available for as many games as possible and that they're healthy come postseason. But the Cavs, um, my Knicks, Orlando Magic, even the Pistons. There are so many teams balling right now and they're not getting the credit. Even the Spurs, like there are teams that are playing really great team basketball. They're not getting enough credit because they might not have this flashy, clout chasing star on their team. But no, Anthony Edwards is not the guy currently. That could change. That could totally change. But you can't be the guy if you're not making deep playoff runs. And I get it. He was in the Western Conference Finals last season. Is he going to get there again this year? No. Highly doubt it. So you can't be the guy if you're not, contending. Absolutely not. Well, guys, we talked about a big problem in the NBA, which is three-point shooting. And the high volume of threes that teams have currently, and you know we said Adam Silver needs to fix it, right? But there's another problem that no one is addressing, and that's the current NBA players with positions in the media. And whether it's on network television or on social media with podcasts and their own platforms, you know um it, this this brings us to our next topic, which is Paul George. I want to play a soundbite from him. This was after an ugly loss to the Pelicans a few nights ago. Here's what he had to say for himself.
Uh, yeah, I mean, it's different. I'm used to scrapping and running around and chasing and fighting through screens. And, to be honest, I'm bored, playing, on a five. Just don't do enough for me. But, I think being mindful of, my ability to clog the middle and kind of help and cut off passing lanes and driving lanes and kind of battle with the bigs. Is what Nick sees in that style. But again, I enjoy chasing the little guys and matching up against wing defender or wing offensive player.
Wow. So I just want to say that Paul George he's proving the Clippers right for trading him and not even dreaming of giving him another max contract. Paul George shows up to work, but he's basically a welfare recipient working the system. He's just in Philly, and heck, he's just in the NBA at this point to collect the checks. I'm not sure he ever truly desired winning titles. Perhaps he did when he was facing off against LeBron in the Eastern Conference Finals, but who knows? What I know now is that Paul George has had a podcast for several years now. Currently, this season, he's averaging about 16 points, and he's ranked 110th in the league. He's pretty much been a bum in Philly and then goes to his podcast to spill tea about their team meetings. These are things that should be private. And I guess he makes time to run his mouth about whatever he thinks instead of working on his game or watching film of himself and his team stinking it up on the court. Just pathetic. Podcast P, pandemic P, pitiful P, whatever we want to call Paul George doesn't matter because he doesn't care either. He's bored. He should never be bored on the floor, especially playing the five. I wish the 76ers would suspend him the way that Pat Riley did to Jimmy Butler. I wish someone on my team would tell me or the public that they were bored. I wish they would. I wish that someone on my team at my job would tell me that they were bored. I've got a ton of work for you to do. No problem. Or maybe you can just find a new job immediately so I can find somebody who's, going to do their job well and not give me the excuse that they're bored. Poor Paul George. He's bored. Poor Paul. Paul George is a disgrace, a complete and utter disgrace. I don't think he's the sharpest tool in the shed either. It's like there's nothing like in between his ears or his eyes. I don't know. Adam Silver needs to address this problem, though. I know that. He wants to fix the 3-point issue. But what about this? Players need to find their love of the game, and they need to show it on the court. I don't need to hear what Paul George thinks about basketball. I don't. I need to see him working on his game and trying to win a title. That's all fans in Philly want to see is the team and the players on that team giving it their all. They want to see players giving it 100%. Adam Silver, he hasn't even mentioned the negative impact that current players dabbling in the media has had on the NBA. Stephen A. Smith has talked about it, but he does it in a very disingenuous way because he's only bringing it up for self-preservation. He wants it to be known that players will never replace true journalism, if that's what you want to call it, if that's what you want to call what Stephen A. does. But he basically wants it to be known that the analysts in the media will always be there. The players are not going to sunset sports analysts on network television. That's not going to happen. And Stephen A. thinks that that these analysts and, traditional media will always be there because they are supposedly non-biased and they're going to tell the truth. So they say, but we know that that's a lie because Clutch Sports pays major networks and popular analysts to push narratives and lie, all to serve their devious plot to somehow elevate LeBron James as the GOAT. I just wonder at what point will this reach an untenable level? What do you guys think? Should Adam Silver ban current NBA players from working in the media or having podcasts? I'll read some comments and then I'll open the phone lines. I do want to say this. My only ask is that we can keep calls, that callers can keep their takes to 1 minute or less. And if folks can respect the caller on the line and not call in while they're speaking. But I do want you guys to talk to me nice. So let's go, call in. And I will put up the phone line one moment. Actually, I'll read some comments before I throw up the line. Thanks, Dom 34. Today's defense, what defense? World Breaker. You're one of my faves. You're one of my favorites. That troll in the chat. I love it. Tom Smithers, I don't want to hear from a guy, Adam Silver, who has never played one game of basketball. Hey, Adam, show us your jumper. I'm okay that, like Adam Silver has never played basketball. I'm okay with that. Not everybody can play the sport. You know, he's just full of shit. You don't have to play basketball to know that guys are not necessarily going to be clogged under under the basket if he decides to make it a little bit more difficult to, shoot a three by moving the line back. He's just full of it. Yeah, salute everybody in the chat. Seriously, you guys are awesome. Great engagement tonight. Happy New Year to you as well. Do teams even run plays these days? Not from what I'm seeing. Shout out to the Nets. The NBA is trash. people complained during Bad Boy Pistons era. Yeah, that was the 80s. That's when people complain. They're not, they didn't complain in 90s and 2000s when Michael Jordan was like in his prime in the 90s and winning titles, when Kobe Bryant was out there, winning titles. We didn't hear of any of this. It's too physical. Adam Silver's a liar. Adam Silver, Clutch Sports, we see these folks lie because they think that nobody's going to remember, that everybody's a prisoner of the moment. I mean, I don't know. Malice in the Palace, that had nothing to do with the game, though. NBA is an amazing product. Most people complaining don't even watch most of the games and don't even have a league pass. That's interesting. I think World Breaker, did you even see basketball before LeBron James came into the league? I don't think you have. Hey, Sports T, just wanted to say what a great night by LeBron. Truly an amazing player. 22 years and still going strong. Thanks for your comment. I mean, I think that LeBron is an amazing player, and I think that playing for 22 years in basketball in the NBA is an incredible accomplishment for sure. Absolutely, Spurs and stats get manipulated all the time. LeBron is the Barry Bonds of basketball. I mean, I personally think that Barry Bonds is greater than LeBron. Yeah, I mean, he might be talking about people 7'5", but the difference between, I think, 7'5" centers in the past versus today is that they were not allowed to play the perimeter. It wasn't allowed. It wasn't that they couldn't do it, they didn't do it. Imagine if they were practicing playing on the perimeter as a 4 and 5. We've seen we've seen big men bring the ball down. We've seen big men have handle. It's just not true what they're saying. The culture of the league was different. The league was ran different. And it's not that players weren't capable. And that's the problem that I have with, today's commentators and with everything that Adam Silver just said. I mean, he's a goddamn liar. Why does anybody have a league pass if you can buy a Fire Stick? For sure, I'm with you, ignorant commentators. It looks like we got a $10 super chat from Naz. Salute to you, Naz. Paul always has been one of the biggest disappointments, most overrated star that lived off his merits pre-injury Pacer era. A high-tech J.R. Smith. Talented, streaky, yet wildly inconsistent knucklehead. Yeah, I've never been high on Paul George. His tenure with the Clippers was awful, god awful, and I have very little respect for his podcasts and just the fact that he's a current NBA player focused on being in the media, focused on running his mouth all day. It's very disappointing. Okay, guys, call in. I'm ready. I'll continue to read some comments while we're waiting for folks to call. You guys are really funny. LeBron is a beta. Hilarious. Hand checking, no pushing would be cool. all these people can't get his name out of their mouths. That's when you know you're the GOAT. I mean, I I don't think that LeBron is the GOAT. I don't think that he's even close to being the GOAT. I don't even think that he's top 5 or top 10, but I do appreciate you being here and sharing your thoughts. The Sentinels football channel. Preach beta. I was going to mention that. Is it really basketball if you're not playing defense? This is why this product looks so bad. They're not even trying to make it entertaining. That's facts. And guys, head over to the Sentinels football channel. Go over there and like, share, and subscribe. LeBron let the league deteriorate. Couldn't agree more. This happened on LeBron's watch. Just the fact that LeBron can't drive a culture in the NBA, like, how could he be considered the GOAT? How could he be considered one of the greatest leaders in our sport? Nets lost by 59 tonight. Oof. Absolutely awful. Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever will draw more viewers and higher ratings than the NBA next year. I agree, and I believe that. I say a lot of problems will end when LeBron retires. With Wemby, being the face of the league, it will want to make other players work and develop. He wants and seems like he wants to dominate. I like his spirit. I think that he's a competitor. I think he wants to win. I think that I I feel a genuine desire to win, not just to sort of pad a legacy. I view him as a guy that is hopefully going to bring true competitive spirit back to the sport. Don't forget referees. Tonight, Wemby got a foul at jump ball. I mean, look, the referees, the officiating, that's been god awful for so long. We know that the refs are doing a variety of things to help certain teams, to help certain players. I mean, the refs decided to blow the whistle as Ja Morant was posterizing Wemby. So, yeah, I'm with you, Spursian. We can never forget about the referees' will to tamper with the NBA as well. It looks like we got another super chat. Thank you so much, Spurs. And no disrespect, Dom. How about a WNBA basketball to match on your wall? Absolutely. I really want a WNBA ball. This was gifted to me. This is an official NBA ball. So yes, I would love a WNBA ball to go like right next to it. I think it would be awesome. And yeah, that's a very fair question and great feedback. So guys, for me, feedback is a gift. I don't view it as disrespect. It's a great thing, and whether it's positive or negative, it's certainly a gift. Lakers still trash. They only beat up on bad teams. Facts, 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 facts only. They can only beat depleted teams. They can only beat bad teams. I mean, they're a disaster. A complete dumpster fire. That would be effing awesome. It'd be the movie Major Pain, but in real life. Sheesh. Jamel, I'm so sorry that the Laker game was torture tonight. I usually don't watch the full game. So I typically will watch how they start the game in the first quarter. I'll watch, maybe a piece of the second quarter. I'll see how they come out in the third quarter. If they're winning handedly, I'll usually stop winning because it's typically a beat up, depleted team. If they're losing massively, I'll watch to the end just to see, like, hey, did they stop scoring after a certain amount of time? Like, I try to figure out like what really happened, why did they lose this game, and oftentimes those losses are blowout games. So, Lakers are just a dumpster fire trash team, period. That, let's see. I want to see NBA All-Stars versus G League All-Stars. Get rid of the refs. Players call the fouls. Over the line, 5 feet back, and reinstitute the hand check. AAU ruined basketball. I don't know. I don't think AAU ruined it. Players these days way better. Y'all just saying anything. Really, World Breaker? You're like 12 years old. How would you know who's better if you never saw them? Today's players have no fundamentals. I can't stress that enough. I mean, they don't have any post moves. They don't know what to do in the low post. They don't know how to feed the post. I don't have patience for this. Yeah. Frank Cercio had to go. Like, guys, this is my channel. I'm going to talk about what I want. And I do not think LeBron is the GOAT. That does not make me a hater. So people who come in here crying about LeBron and saying that I'm hating when the topic is not even LeBron. We're talking about Adam Silver and Paul George. The minute that he slightly mentioned the LeBron jockstrap sniffers come in here, just having a complete titty attack. I don't want to hear it and I don't care. So if you don't like the channel, go somewhere else. SGA and Wemby look like they are those guys along with Luka and Jokic. I don't know. The verdict's still out for me, especially on Luka. He can't defend. Shows up to the NBA with a dad bod. I don't really have, I can't say that he's going to be the guy or a guy. Look, Timberwolves have Julius Randle. Okay. Thank you for calling Sports Tea. Talk to me nice. Caller from Canada, talk to me nice. Hold on one second. It looks like perhaps my Bluetooth might not be connected. Don't hang up. 1 second. All righty. Caller from Canada, talk to me nice. Thank you for calling Sports Tea.
Hey, this is JW in chat. How you doing?
This is JW. Thanks for calling.
Hey.
So what do you think? Do you think that current NBA players should be allowed to have a podcast? Do you think that Adam Silver will actually fix the 3-point problem?
Well, let's say the first one. I think they should be allowed to do podcasts, right? But I do think they need to be a lot more professional about it. They have to remember that their main job is to be a professional athlete. And it cannot be a full-time job, just like Podcast P. I mean, didn't someone bring up the stats saying that he's had more podcasts this year than he's played games?
Yes, he certainly has. That's why, like, I'm hyper confused about it.
It is insane. I mean, it's good that they have their own voice, and I don't think they should be taken away, right? Because that's just what's the word? They got freedom of speech. They can do whatever they want. It's on their off time, whatever, right? So You can't stop
Is
these
it
guys from
though? Is
what they
it like
want to do.
I'm okay. I think that players should have a voice for sure, but they do have a voice. They have a voice and they are required to make themselves available to the media. I'm just wondering if during the season, during the 82 game season, should they be podcasting? Should they be doing any other job?
I don't think they should be. That's not going to stop them.
No, for sure.
You know what I
I
mean?
think
But
that they can
yeah,
put something in the
yeah.
CBA. I mean, the NBA used to require that players did not play for fun outside of the game, that they were not allowed to play. Michael Jordan had to put that clause in his contract, for the love of the game clause. So the NBA has required
Yeah.
very unique things in contracts and, of players, over the course of the inception of the NBA. I think that they need to do something about this. If they don't, I think that this is a huge part of the disengagement in the NBA. Players are allowed to have all these other jobs. Why do you need another job? You're making 50, 60 million dollars a year. Why do you need another job? Why can't this be your only job? A lot of these guys are fathers and
Yeah.
husbands. That's a whole nother job. But then you also have
That's
to
a whole
go into
other,
the
yeah.
media and turn around and be a podcaster. I'm confused. And it's like they have the ability for people to hear their voice. They must make themselves available to the media. So if there's a message that they want to correct, if there's, if there's a narrative that they want to push, they can do it right after the game. LeBron does it every night. JJ Redick does it every night.
Uh,
Adam Silver just did
oh
it
my
with
God.
Colin
Yeah.
Cowherd. Right? So like, why should Adam Silver and the NBA owners accept this kind of culture where basically NBA players are doing everything but getting on the court? What does Zion Williamson do? The man just eats food all day. You're out here shoveling food into your mouth. There's no requirement for your weight. And I mean, I believe they even put things in his contract and that still didn't stop him from eating ad nauseum,
Yeah, I
or
think
just like literally shoveling food into his mouth like a slob.
yeah, didn't that boy get suspended for going to Wendy's?
I'm sorry?
Or is that just a meme? I think he recently got suspended from the team for going to Wendy's or something. Or is that just a meme?
I don't know. I don't know. I really don't.
Yeah, but that boy's getting too big, man. And I think what is it? On a team like the Miami Heat, with the Heat culture, whatever you want to say about Pat Riley, he does put in things like the weight clause into contract and things like that. So yeah, it's down to the owners and the GMs to figure that out. Because Zion could have been that next superstar, but that boy can't stop eating.
I know. It's kind of crazy. But JW, thank you so much for your call. I really appreciate you. Great takes, great commentary.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Love your stuff. Keep up the good work.
Thank you so much. That really
Talk to
means
you
a
next
lot.
time.
You have a wonderful evening, okay? Thanks for watching and thanks
You
for
too.
calling. All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Thank you for calling Sports Tea. Talk to me nice.
Right? Oh, hey, there's something. Let me just mute this real quick.
Thank you for calling Sports Tea. Talk to me
I don't know what's up this month. There we go. Yeah. No, I was just calling because I was gonna like fall back, but I didn't see nobody call and making a good point. But no, just to answer your question, I don't like the current active players, doing podcasts, especially during the season. And I don't like players having their own agencies while they're active. Now, after the season's done or after they retire, then yeah, podcast and talk about whatever you want. But while the season is going on, especially and you're active, you don't want to be making podcasts because especially in this cutthroat capitalist society, I mean, because I've been looking at the fires in LA, so I have a really bad attitude about capitalism. There's too many conflicts of interest and things that can go wrong. These guys are corporate puppets. That's obvious. Adam Silver to me is a puppet, much more so than David Stern. I don't think Adam Silver calls any shots in the league. I think it's the shots are called by LeBron, CP3, and corporate shareholders, Nike, Disney. Disney to me, I think on the low is ruining the NBA because they're ruining sports media with ESPN. And I just think that, similar to what's happening with hip hop and all that, as soon as the corporate guys get too deeply involved, it waters everything up. And I think they might be the real reason why they took physicality out, because they wanted to increase scoring so they could attract more different types of fans. And also, I think they're divesting from America, which means that you're not going to see I think it's too many players, kids in the NBA. You're not seeing guys that's coming from the hood that's hungry and grew up a certain way. They don't want those kind of guys there. They want compliant, international players ready to play for Popovich, that, don't have no drama, don't have any certain attitudes,
That just
grew up
show
with
up
the
and
mom and the
work.
dad.
They just show up and work. That's it.
Exactly. But the problem with those guys is they can't be the face of the league, because it's just a certain kind of just swag that, or just whatever that American.
Can we be honest?
have.
Can we be honest though? It's not just swag. It's not just about American. They're also just not that good. Like, let's be for real. Like, Luka Doncic does not defend. Jokic cannot run.
No.
Jokic cannot run, jump, or dunk the ball. Is he skilled? Absolutely. Does he do things that normal 7-footers have not done in the past? Absolutely. But he's not athletic.
No.
At the end of the day, people want to see the total package. That's what NBA fans are begging for. They want to see guys that can do it all. Jokic can't do it all. Luka can't do it all.
Well, you have Embiid and you have guys like John Morant who could potentially have done it. The problem is just too many injured guys. And I'm playing 2K and I'm just like, this league is not that good. Like, there's less quality superstars. Like, once the Kawhi Leonards and all those people retire, you're not going to really see too many molds of guys. Like, SGA might be the last mold of guys like that. Two-way, mid-range, scoring machines, whatever, athletic. Even though SGA, I don't think is that athletic, but I just don't think that. I think the way they're making the league, they're making it like European basketball. And it's funny, and I say I like to emphasize how Luka and Jokic are the best players. So they say, back in Jordan's days, those guys were plumbers, and those guys they couldn't even do. They weren't athletic. Nowadays are bigger, faster, stronger. And I've watched the league. I play 2K, and I'm just like, I just don't see it. I just don't see it. These guys, they playing small ball. How is it bigger, faster, stronger, but they're playing small ball, and they have this positionless basketball?
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
That doesn't matter.
It's crazy to me. But I really appreciate your call. Great call, great commentary, great takes.
Thank you, and thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
You too. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Looks like we got another super chat here. But before I read that, I do. Okay, actually, I'm going to read the super chat. So salute to you, Eastby 103. Thank you for the $9.99 super chat. Keep building 7K on the way. Absolutely. Thanks to all of you guys. Salute to everybody in the chat. Salute to everybody watching this stream. I really appreciate you all. And, my goal is to just get better each time. So thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you for donating. Thank you for being here. I do want to address this comment. I think it's really important. It was written in all caps, and I want to address this. You can't legally, and thank you, R, for commenting and watching. You can't legally stop players from podcasting. They can try, but that will stand up in court. Of course they can. So basically, when companies or agencies or institutions, the NBA, right, an association, they can absolutely stop players from podcasting. When you have policy and procedure at any company, you can certainly like require folks to not do certain things. Okay. So there are plenty of agencies that require that you are not allowed to even speak to the media, that you are not allowed to engage in, being part of the media because you are an agent of this particular organization. So, they absolutely, that's not going to the Supreme Court. Okay. If it's in the CBA, that's it. Supreme Court can't do anything about it. But, and that's how it is. I mean, currently the NBA is requiring so much. They're requiring players to actually talk to the media. So if it's illegal for them to stop players from podcasting, then it would certainly be illegal for them to require it. So, this comment it's just not true. And yeah, I mean, players are not even allowed to complain about referees publicly. So they're not allowed to complain and talk bad about the NBA, but they should be allowed to podcast. And the NBA can't create any parameters surrounding that. They absolutely can. They can require that they don't do it during the season, that it's only in the off season, or potentially when they retire from the sport. And, most guys who are true NBA legends, they don't want to be on a podcast. They want to be working on their game. They want to be living, breathing basketball. Their spare time is, for their family. But guys, that's all I've got for tonight. I really appreciate everybody who was here. Thank you to everybody. Salute to everybody in the chat. You guys are awesome. And yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow. And I'm really excited to go live again. I appreciate you all. Yeah, I mean, I know that some of you guys like, when I close out a certain way, and so I'm going to go ahead and do that. So, I just want to tell you guys one thing.
Who's gonna tell him that the job he's currently seeking might just be one of those black jobs, those black jobs, one of those black jobs, those black jobs, one of those black jobs, those black jobs, one of those. Who's gonna tell him that the job might be one of those black jobs? I'm here to do my black job. I'm here to do my black job. Those black jobs, one of those. Who's gonna tell him that the job might be one of those black jobs? The Attorney General might be one of those black jobs. Vice President might be one of those black jobs. President might be one of those. Who's gonna tell him that the job might be one of those black jobs? The Attorney General might be one of those black jobs. Vice President might be one of those black jobs. President Kamala Harris might be one of those black jobs. Black jobs. One of those black jobs. Black jobs. One of those black jobs. Black jobs. One of those. Who's gonna tell him that the job might be one of those black jobs? I'm here to do my black job. I'm here to do my.
You guys make me laugh. And I have to answer this comment. Oh my gosh, no, I do not want Zion to my Knicks. That should have never been a thing. I never even wanted him to be drafted. Okay. I always knew he was going to be like this. I did. Zion is a fat bust. Absolutely. God awful. Players don't love playing basketball. That's the problem. It's all about the money. That's it. It's all about money. But guys, thank you so much for being here tonight. Really appreciated everyone that came by and joined us for this stream. I think we have 88 likes. If we can get that up to 100, that would make me so happy. I know you guys can do it. Like this video, share, and subscribe the video to the channel. But yeah, go ahead, run up those likes for me, guys. I know we can get to 100 in no time. You guys are so amazing. You did that in like 2 seconds. So I really, really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you tomorrow. I'm probably, yeah, I'm probably gonna do 2 lives tomorrow, but really excited to see you guys again and just have a wonderful night, get some rest, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. And I will touch upon the Lakers because there is some content that I'm gonna have to cook their asses on. Okay. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a really great night. Like, share, and subscribe. Bye bye.